So here are my 3 tips for content creators that want to grow rapidly on social media. Number one, I would say provide value. You need to understand that people are selfish on social media and no one is on social media simply because they just like you. Number two, be consistent. I know this is one of the hardest parts of social media. So pick a time, pick a moment, and stick to it, and just make sure that you continue doing it. And then lastly, make sure you're speaking their language. We all are human beings, and as human beings, we are communal in nature. And one of the things about human beings and community is that we're looking for someone who speaks our language. So if you want to speak to a certain group of people, make sure you sound like them, make sure you are relatable to them. It took me 3 years to get my first 1,000 on Twitter. Funny enough, it did not take me any video to get to my first brand deal because I did not start out making videos. I started out just writing threads, tweets, stories, and I think I caught the attention of enough people to be able to get my first brand deal. So my favorite platform is none of them. Why? Simply because each platform produces or gives me something that I crave for. LinkedIn, for instance, brings up the serious part of me. Instagram allows me to connect with my audience in a visual manner. Twitter really brings out the writing in me. Facebook reminds me of my age. TikTok stresses me out because it's forcing me to move past my comfort zone. My best feature is Shorts because it forces me to really cram a lot of thoughts into a short period of time, and that really forces creativity out. Yeah.
We don't tend to have clients in the way regular businesses have clients, but actors and divas are very difficult to manage, but we find a way to manage them. Brands. Well, I had one bad experience with a brand, and they never paid. Even though their brand is in a movie, which is showing everywhere on Amazon Prime now. But it's not the fault of the brand, it's the fault of the particular officer within the company. The industry I'm in generally has been enhanced by the digital economy.
My fastest growing platform will be Instagram. The best thing about being a content creator is you don't know what content would put you on the map. I mean, the thrill of just creating content because you love to create content, and then wake up one day and then one particular content actually has blown up all over the world. And then the downside to it is sometimes you don't feel like creating. You are mentally exhausted. You are physically exhausted. There is no creative juice. You have creative block, but you still have to create. It didn't take me a lot of videos. I think it took me just one picture, and then I got my first job. It was Jumia Joyforce at the time, some couple of 7, 8 years ago. Do not do it because you want to make it fast. Do it because you love it and let people see that passion shine through you. 2, always stay consistent. It might not come in 2 years, it might not come in 3 years, it might come in 3 months, it might come in a day, but stay consistent and the world is your oyster. My
The platform I prefer is LinkedIn because I do a lot of work professionally, and my work is impact oriented and impact driven. So I manage a portfolio that is currently youth driven, so youth participation and entrepreneurship. So looking at creating jobs for young people. I've discovered in recent time, right? And this is what drove my I think my follower base to about 2,000 plus. I discovered the power of video, especially with a cool music in the background. Those are like my favorite, you know. One of the biggest benefit has been the impact. When you tell your stories, people get to read about it, people get to learn. So we currently manage a program which is called Orange Corners. Interestingly, Edie is the one who won the second prize for the Kahoot game, so she's here. And that is a program that really supports startups in the incubation phase, right? And so what I've seen is when you're active on the digital platform, as long as you have impacts in anything you do, you tend to get a lot of people. Our biggest win with regards to digital economy is a good platform we can leverage to do a whole lot of things. It can go in every direction, healthcare, renewable energy, so it goes a whole lot. But then we need to learn about it.
Difficult clients with difficult brands. So basically, you have to be professional, be patient, try not to lose your composure. It's very hard, but you have to do it because at the end of the day, they paid for a service and you have to deliver what they want. But I mean, in Nigeria, you know what they say now, who go help you, no go stress you. There are times when you get a creative block. But the flip side to that is because there's so many people creating content and churning out content, right? If you miss a week or 2 weeks, like literally someone takes your position, you've seen so many content creators come and go that because they have been doing stuff like at a high voltage, they tend to burn out. For the best thing, I think, is when people just see you on the road and just appreciate what you do, because like people go through a lot in Nigeria. So social media is a way for people to just escape, to laugh, have fun. There are people that will just message and say, oh, I love what you did, send me your account number, I just want to appreciate you. Time, money, gadgets, clothes, oh my god. But if you look at it as, oh, with everything you put in, you will never get anywhere. The thing is this, you have to use money to make money. I just try and look at it as, okay, it's just an investment, right? But I always tell content creators, don't just depend solely on your content. Have something else to do on the side, that's bringing in money. Like for me, I own a restaurant, so there's money always coming in. I have a show called Nightlife Etiquette that I do on Instagram, and I shot all 13 episodes in one day. So that's me getting 13 different outfits, having to get a cameraman, get the speakers, get the mics, get the lights, So it's a lot of work and it's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, if it's your passion, then you have to invest in it. You can't get money from an investor if you are not willing to invest in yourself.
My name is Kamini Adegoke. I'm a digital consultant. So I think the best thing for me, I think, is the money. There's money there. And the worst thing is creating content, actually, because you have to be very creative. You don't want to repeat an idea twice and 3 times, So you have to be very creative. So I think that's the hard part. But the best part is there's money there. How many videos did it take me to get my first payment? Let's say maybe like 800 videos. I was joking, but it's a lot. You don't count, to be honest, because the moment you start counting, and it's all about the money for you at that point, there's no passion. I would say 2 years. Yes. So imagine the number of contents that was created in 2 years. Roughly, how much have I invested in becoming a content creator? You really can't count, or you can't tell, because you keep buying gadgets, and you keep paying for courses. So let's say over the period of a decade now, 2014 to 2024, I would say over $30,000.
Hi guys, my name is Ainana. So these are the three things content creators need to know before going into the business. Number one, it is not easy, though it is worth it. Okay, know that your consistency, whatever you call it, suffer also, know that it will someday pay off. Number two, be unique. Don't even be unique. I don't like when they say be unique. You are already unique. Okay, give people something different. And when people discourage you that this thing doesn't make sense, that's the more reason why you should do it, because they have never seen it before. And also, don't put yourself in a competition. Yeah, improve on yourself, evolve, be the better version of you. Luckily for me, I was on my first video on social media was 2017 at the AY Live, when they asked me a question, what's a female hyena? And I said hyena, and that was how I got my name. I can imagine my first video got me an endorsement. Yes, I was lucky, yeah? The reason why I actually joined was to put smile on faces. When it got to a point, I said, no, there has to be a financial implication. I can't be spending money to make people happy alone. The best side is that you can make money from it. Another amazing side is that you can be your own boss. Another amazing side is that you can be in Nigeria and meet someone, have best of friends in US, UK that you have never ever been to. The worst part of being a content creator is that when you're doing everything and you're not blowing, in fact, some people, the transformer in their area will blow before them. It can be very, very frustrating. Another worst side is that when you're not getting paid for your value. Another worst side is that you have an idea, you have concept, but there's no money to fund it. So if you really want to be a content creator, be ready for all these things, okay? But I see no limitations though. That's what keeps us stronger.
My name is Chiama Merwa, aka Chigol. Right now, my favorite platform is Instagram because it's the most accessible. I think one of the things I like the most is I just discovered the calling on Instagram. I didn't know we could call on Instagram. I was like, oh, is that what the phone icon is for? 3 tips that influencers need to know. I think one is you have to be on the pulse of what the audience wants. I think as desires evolve, You have to know and just know when to change, when to shift, when to do more or do less, which means you have to be very present on social media. You can't sit at home and expect social media things to happen. No, you got to be on there and in there with them, of them, to them, to know what's going on. My becoming known went from, because I started back in the day a long time ago, and it was just a voice, and it was a character that I created that I had been doing for years. All of my friends would always sort of like, they just knew I did it, so it was like, here she comes again, and they would laugh and delete. But then another friend of mine just thought, oh, I should send this to somebody, and then next thing I know, I received my own voice note. Like, oh, there's this girl. Her name is Chico. She's really funny. Okay. I think after that, people started putting a face to the voice, and then doors sort of opened, and here we are.
Now, the digital economy is the economy itself. There is no economy without digitalization. If you are running a business and you are not thinking of digital, then you are out of it. We are into tech in Champs. We've done marvelously well using digital in terms of identity and payment system. We started the payment system in the country, value card, now UPS, ATMs, POS, all started in Champs. The identity management from your BVN to your NIN to your voter's card to your driver's license, all arose out of Champs. So Champs is all about digital. But the one we are now looking at is smart city. How do we live in a way that can give us a better quality of life using technology? That's what we are trying to do in smart city. And digitalization is at the core of it.
Clients, we love them and we hate them. They're the only reason we can do what it is that we do, and so we really appreciate them. I think client management is super important. You want to really provide value and you want to help the clients and the partners that you work with to accomplish their objectives so that they come back. And I think our clients have been incredibly important to us as a business. They've been partners who've pushed our creativity, who forced us to sort of expand our capabilities and to do challenging and sort of like really important work. Interesting of late, I'd say something like LinkedIn has been super valuable for tech cabal. Twitter is always, or what's now known as X, is always an important platform, both for tech cabal and for Zikoko. But because tech cabal serves a business audience, we found that LinkedIn has actually been quite useful for us. Zikoko does really well on Twitter. It does really well on Instagram. Also does incredibly well on TikTok. So actually, you should check out Zikoko's TikTok channel. It's incredible content.
The digital economy, I think we still need to do a lot in Nigeria to pull together the digital economy. A lot of the creatives within the creative sector, whether it's film, whether it's music, whether it's video games, we're all working in silos. So there has not really been that synergy. There's not really been that integration. But for us to be able to fully maximize the digital economy, there's need for a lot more synergy to come into play. In terms of my own business, I will also say I've been guilty. I have not embraced the digital, technology as much as we should, but we have some bit of integration, and it's also about the age. Let me personalize it. I don't like to play in that space. We're trying to encourage our kids to come into our business. They can do that digital footprint all the way.
Hello guys, my name is Lai Wasabi. I'm a content creator. And how long did it take me to get my first 1,000 subscribers? I think in 24 hours. I had a content that was posted by Yaba Left. So at the time I had like 600 followers. Then after that one content, in 24 hours I got 1,000. And money-wise, I think I've invested a lot of money actually. Time, mentally. I cannot put an amount to how much I've invested, mentally and everything. But money-wise, I've put in some good money, in millions of naira. The first video that I ever did, I was paid like 40,000 for that video. And I think it took me about, let's say up to 20 videos before I got like someone that could trust me to do an advert for them. Yeah, like 20. Okay, so my favorite platform, I would say Instagram. So my favorite feature would be that ask me anything tag, that question tag. where my followers can get to interact with me.
I think there's so much opportunity with the digital economy. I call it the creative economy, right? Because a lot of people now with a phone or just even a camera, they can access a huge audience, can be Nigeria or even internationally. And with an audience comes monetization. With audience comes job opportunities, right? Because brands want to connect with an audience. That's the power of what technology has done. It has allowed anyone that truly has a dream and small talent to reach an audience. It has broken down barriers. Before you had to have an audition and someone had to believe in you. Sometimes all it takes is now you believing in yourself and having that courage to put up your content online for the world to see and criticize or love. YouTube. No, but seriously, I think YouTube was the first platform to start allowing creators monetize. Now, yes, there's TikTok and there's Instagram and Twitter, and all of them are saying that you need to reward these creators because they are bringing an audience and keeping your audience engaged on their platform. So you need to reward them. See, Twitter now is sharing some of that money and things like that. But yeah, YouTube is what's paying my bills. So YouTube is my favorite platform.
At Smart Parcel, we use digital smart lockers to address issues along first and last mile delivery. We are really pushing for a digital economy because we crave to digitize the current logistics space. I like to tell people that logistics in Nigeria is currently where banking was about 15 years ago, because you still have to go to some courier companies, you still have to queue, you still have to give the courier rider, your personal details. But with our digital smart lockers, you just pre-schedule, you get a 4-digit alphanumeric code, you can select any of the smart lockers and nobody needs to know your personal information. And it also helps e-commerce as well to be able to attain same-day delivery. In that way, they're able to aggregate, because a typical smart locker has about 50 compartments. So an e-commerce, social commerce platform can put items that are meant for different individuals just in a smart locker that they have pre-scheduled. And then at their convenience, they can go there to pick up. And in this way, we digitize logistics all over Nigeria, all over Africa. Oh, well, I hope I'm not too old if I say Instagram. I'm still trying to get a hang of TikTok. Yeah.
I'm just so proud of where Nigeria has got to in terms of really seeking true diversification of the economy. And I think the digital economy has a huge role to play in ensuring a sustainable future for Nigeria. When I think of digital economy, I think of fintechs, to be honest. I think that the first real wave of startups that were truly formidable, world-class, and that were able to attract international investment. But of course, there's so many other startups across various sectors that have been really able to grow the digital economy in Nigeria. My favorite digital platform, I work for Google, so I'm completely biased, unashamedly biased. So I do think that the entire Google ecosystem is phenomenal, and I say that not just because I work for Google. When you think about all of the various assets and platforms that we are a part of, from Android through to Google Search, YouTube, Gmail, Google Cloud, there are so many facets that really truly help people every single day. Maps, to get around, to do business, to make live businesses and economies easier and smoother. So Google all the way.
Hello, my name is Adetutu Ladito. I am a product marketing manager for YouTube in Sub-Saharan Africa, and I'm super, super excited to be in the StoryStoryHub. So let's talk about the data economy. We're in the year 2024, and this is one of the best things that have happened technology-wise, because firstly, it's an enabler of employment for many young people. The fact that you can pick up your smartphone, get data, and you're connected to the world. You can have your voice amplified in many ways, tell your own stories, showcase your own talents. That's what the data economy affords everybody. But more importantly, I'm passionate about the creative economy. We've seen the role data is playing and will continue to play as it evolves from machine learning to artificial intelligence in helping more young people find opportunities to monetize their talents. And so you're not confined to the days of traditional media where you have to go through third-party agencies or have gatekeepers sort of determine your journey. So in terms of my favorite platform, of course, it's YouTube. And I'm not saying this because I work with YouTube, but even before I joined my role at Google, I've been a student of the internet. So every time I needed to learn something, I would always go back to the internet to watch a video, to read something, just to improve myself. And everyone thought I was a genius, but it was just a simple search. How to? What do I need to do? Even my interviews at work, like how do I say thank you so that the recruiter remembers me? I would draft and copy and paste. So I love what platforms like Google and YouTube do, but YouTube is just it's a gold mine of knowledge. It's ridiculous the amount of things you can learn.
My favorite social media platform, which is Instagram, would be Instagram Story. Because we're like monetary spirits. You post something on your main feed, they'll do as if they did not see it. You post it on Story, and all of a sudden you're doing over 15K, 20K, 30K eyeballs. 3 tips that you need to be a successful content creator. You need to be true to yourself. If you choose, for example, fashion, you must be able to deliver fashion content at the highest level non-stop, because the followers will constantly expect you to, step up the game. So if it's not necessarily your thing, let's say a few weeks, it might be nice, and then you'll fall by the wayside. So be true to yourself. Second thing you need to do is be consistent in posting. Being consistent is the reason you can grow numbers. And even when sometimes the algorithm might not favor you, but just know that when you're consistent with the content, it will eventually work. And the final tip I think I can give a content creator is you need to invest in yourself. So if it will mean when you start making money, invest in better cameras, better sound. The best thing about being a content creator is obviously having an audience, which is to a certain degree can give you financial stability. The worst thing about being a content creator might be the pressure you face in delivering new content and exciting content. Social media platform that is my fastest growing most definitely will be Instagram. For the most part, I didn't even join social media in the early stages until I lost a gig. And that was when I opened a social media account on Twitter, and at the time Twitter, but now X. But I recently started to post on TikTok, and it looks like the numbers, they go up.
So I ain't tell me my name is Derele. When I was normal, I did not have money. But when Chris entered my ministry, so I want you to pray to the God of Chris to locate your inner madness, so you can turn that madness into a money-making madness machine. Now hold on, I'm not swearing for you. You cannot create fundamental change without a certain level of madness. This madness I am talking about is non-conformity, the power to turn your back on the old formula and the courage to invent the future. So when I say you are mad, it's an acronym for making a difference. So look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you better be mad though. I think that it comes down to the fact that first, I am an OG before IG with plenty OT before IT. I started my hustle this year. It's going to mark 3 decades. I started in 1994 professionally, way before the advent of the internet. For us back then, the visibility and the brand positioning was more on the big screen and in tabloids. If you happen to be a good-looking face, you did all the campaigns, the billboards, the flyers, the posters. I did it all. I used to dance for a band, the Iroko band. I've danced in the African Shrine. Killer, she also go. But I think that my favorite feature, I think it would be the Instagram app, if I'm getting that right. I have found joy in curating reels. For me, it's not even about the numbers, it's not about the engagement or the traffic. It's just a way for me to archive, my experience and throw it out there. And I feel that there is a niche for everyone, there's an audience for everyone. And there is something I do very quickly. It's called cosmic osmosis. Don't worry, this is just me. For every negative comment I get online, I shut my mind to it and I go to every single, feed I can find and drop something positive, which is to tell the universe, no, that's negative comment. It's not my reality. And secondly, it's my own little way of spreading love and light to the world. So there is logic in my chaos, in my madness. I think it comes down to Twitter, and I'll tell you why. If you had a BlackBerry phone at that time, BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, was a sweet tool. I remembered when there was a scandal that broke out with my name. I was in Malaysia. I was in Kuala Lumpur at the time. I went to host a show. And when I landed at the airport, every single custom official had that picture on their BBM. Phone me man bononi. But when Twitter came up, I'm a beautiful text messenger. It just felt like I could just transfer all my text messages, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions in very short text. I didn't even start with my name. In 1 month, I amassed over 100,000 followers. I was stoked. Of course, Facebook, when you exceed 5,000, you can't add. So I was opening and opening pages, like different accounts. But eventually now you can have a page where you can submerge everything in. So it has to be Twitter. I could be stuck at the airport, miss several flights trying to get a new flight, and I'll just put my thoughts on Twitter. And someone quickly DM me. They really go to social office, call social person, and get on the next flight. So it was just a way of getting me out of every sticky situation. I remembered when I was in Barbados. I just tweeted, in Barbados for the first time. Beautiful Nigerian here. Where are the hotspots? My dear, people came to my hotel. They took me out. I didn't spend a dime. When they found I was Nigerian and I was affiliated with every industry, and they loved Nollywood so much, people consumed the Nollywood brand. When people knew that I knew Desmond Elliot, I called him on the phone. They say, you will eat free in this hotel every single day. So away from all of that, Twitter has been a brilliant connecting experience. So yeah, Twitter. But now, Instagram with all its plenty wahala. I will not lie, I'm still an OG before IG. Let's just go with the flow. We have to go with the times. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Story àti sọ gbogbo story tán. Ẹ ṣé gan àti gbé wèrè lọ.